Okay, now this is getting incredibly interesting. You guys, what we see on a very small micro time frame on the 15-minute chart is a potential complete setup to continue as we've tested this neckline of the inverse head and shoulders on a larger time frame, the daily. As you can see pictured here, what is happening on the very, very small time frame is absolutely astonishing. It is in fact potentially a very bullish continuation pattern, as this is what usually the pattern is. And if that is the case, it could continue and not break out until tomorrow, which would be perfect. And what we've been talking about as well, guys, I posted this video on the 3rd saying 3 days left before it breaks out. You guys can go check out that video, but if it is actually 3 days, that would put us to the 6th, which is tomorrow, which is Monday, which would be huge. Wow, let's get into this. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Sunday edition, January 5th. 2020, guys. Something incredibly awesome has been happening. I want you to keep in mind where I'm very confident on the larger time frames like this. Smaller time frames like the 15-minute have here are always, in my opinion, less robust and more likely to kind of just fade. I don't love using very small time frames. I absolutely love using daily charts, but using a 15-minute is not really my favorite. However, we do see something shaping up here. And I do want to point out, this is kind of speculative as it's the 15-minute. And it's really, if the pattern is actually there, it's actually the very beginning of the pattern. A lot of people usually won't talk about a pattern this early on. However, we're going to go out on a limb and say this is a possibility. However, there is the disclaimer as well. The disclaimer as well, it would still need a lot of confirmation to really prove this pattern. However, something is just it's absolutely, I can't wait to dive into this with you guys. But before we do, got to do the old rigmarole. I've got my lucky socks on, guys, and if you are interested in winning the ledgers this month, all you have to do is leave a comment below. And if you're new to the channel, as always, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and ding the bell. And let's really get into it. So as you guys know, last night we really tested this neckline. As of right now, we're like right above it. However, this pattern could easily come back down if we don't get some key confirmation, okay? We really need that. And as well, guys, if we take a look at the volume profile has not increased, and that's what we want to see on a breakout. Okay, we want to see something like this. We want to see a nice increase in volume at the least to get this bounce here. So how are we going to get some confirmation? So we have to really find out what's going on within this candle. So this daily candle right here, what's actually going on? And if we zoom in, you can actually see on the 15 and 30-minute chart. We can start out on the 30-minute chart here. The 30-minute chart, you see, we do have some clear, somewhat of a pattern. We have some clear top resistance right at the key level of like 7,500. Okay, 7,500 is obvious resistance for a lot of reasons. The biggest one being it could just be, you know, it's a big round number. If we go to 75 on this, you can see, as talked about, 75 has been a very big resistance area, and it was previously support as well. Remember that big bounce that we had back in October of 2019 was right at 75, okay, guys? That's where we had that massive bounce. So again, this is proving, again, to be somewhat of a hard area to get over. At the moment, it does seem to be proving to be a hard area to get over, and it makes sense, guys. And even, you know what's actually crazier? If we go all the way back, let me zoom out so you guys can see this. If we go, here's the 7,500 range right here. We go all the way back, guys. Absolutely critical area right above the golden pocket. We found some support there back at the beginning of 2019. We found some support there again back in October of 2019, May 2019, October of 2019. And now, guys, we have been finding resistance here ever since breaking down back in November. It's kind of close to the neckline of this inverse head and shoulders right here. So 75 has been a very hard area to break through. This is the 75 zoomed in here compared to the inverse head and shoulders. You can see the very tippy top of this, and again, lines up pretty well with the neckline of the inverse head and shoulders right in that area. So this is clearly where we've bounced off here. This is an important area. So what we want to look for within this daily candle is some sort of confirmation or some sort of signal that we might get a break up to break 75. So to do that, in my opinion, we would need a bullish pattern to actually get us through that. You know, you want to see these patterns form on smaller time frames. And so we go to the 15-minute, and you can see this is the 30-minute, and I want to switch to the 15-minute because it illustrates even more nicely. But guys, this is what we've been seeing so far, okay? So this was yesterday. So you see this big candle right here yesterday? All of that was in this candle here. All of this was in this candle on the 30-minute, okay? Right here, 73.90 to 74.90 is that candle right there. And again, it's only a $100 price point, but the reason it's so key is because where it is in the market and all of the things that line up with the moving averages, the Fibonacci retracement, the neckline, everything, okay? So that's why this is a big break. And you can see right now, if this pattern actually turns out to be valid, again, keep in mind, guys, this is highly speculative and very early on, but if this does end up to be bullish, a bullish break, it'll be absolutely incredible. So I want to start off here on the 30-minute. So on the 30-minute, you can actually see already 6 touches on the 30-minute chart. Okay, keep in mind that this entire pattern right here that I circled only goes out to 2 days. This is the 5th here, this is January 6th, and this is January 7th basically. So this entire possible pattern is only 3 days long. To get to the end of it, we usually don't break out at the very end. It actually usually is before that, around this area. That would be basically the end of tomorrow. So all of this stuff filling in here would only take another less than 24 hours to actually get to that. And guys, that's awesome, because if that would actually play out, if this pattern would play out like this and break up, that would perfectly line up what I said a few days ago about January 6th break. It would be perfect because it would be the CME gap afterwards, so we wouldn't necessarily see that pullback that we see when price action happens on weekends, which would be amazing. So hopefully that's what we get. Hopefully we don't see a break today. Okay, so a bullish triangle, a bullish ascending triangle starts with an initial rally, it pauses and consolidates, and then breaks up, okay? And that's the target objective. So do we have an initial rally? Yes, we do have an initial rally right here. Okay, this would be the initial rally. And then we would optimally see consolidation. Okay, we have the top, comes down, bounces here, goes back to the top here, and currently it's trading at the bottom, okay? Wow, look at that, very interesting. So the initial rally into the triangle can be steep or gradual. Clearly ours was steep, as it essentially mimics this graphic perfectly. It was very steep, straight up. You know, it didn't take a long time, it actually just happened right away. Keep in mind, it is a bullish continuation pattern. So we had a bullish break, and if it would continue, that would mean that the bullish momentum would continue as well. The triangle represents a pause to consolidate with rising lows and a horizontal ceiling, bullish ascending triangle being the first signs that a bullish triangle is forming. Once the shares break higher, it is possible another rally equating to the height of the triangle, measured from its lowest to its ceiling, could be delivered. And what that could look like here, actually, guys, we draw that out, that we can measure from the high to the low point of the triangle, and let's say it happens right on the 6th there, that would have the break potentially up to the 75-50 area. Keep in mind, guys, this is a very micro pattern, but even that extra 70 or so dollars from where we are now, actually be about 100 from where we are exactly at this moment, that would be critical in breaking some key critical areas on the longer term chart. Okay, it would put us right to the top of this, okay, but most importantly, we have to remember the context of the entire thing, okay? And what does that mean? That if this would break out, we still have to remember what we're in the middle of right now. A potential huge inverse head and shoulders, okay? That's what makes this so exciting. It's not just this little pattern right here that might break out, and give us maybe like $70 to $100 break. That would just give us the momentum on the larger time frame to then break and have our actual target. Let me actually zoom out and draw this one more time for you guys. Let me see here. So from the top to the bottom of the head here, transpose that over to the neckline break. Let me just straighten out a little bit. About 84, 8,500. Okay, guys, remember we talked about this yesterday? That would be absolutely crucial. We go to 84, 8,500 here on this chart. We can circle where that would be. Right in this area, guys. Right in this area, right about here. And okay, keep in mind what that would be like. What would happen with the rest of the chart? It would break us above key structures here, out of the fib level. If we take this, we go to the weekly chart above the 21 EMA and back to the very height of some key support from the past. So that would absolutely be perfect if that ends up playing out. If that ends up playing out, I will absolutely lose it. It would be incredible that this could be predicted. We have to keep an eye on it, but guys, I think there needs to be more time before we actually get that. We need to be a little more patient, and we don't want this break just yet. We don't want it. We don't want to have to deal with the whole CME proposition or anything like that. But guys, most importantly, keep in mind, this is very key. I'm taking a little bit of a risk making the video right now as we're testing the bottom here, as you can see on the 30-minute, and look at this on the 15-minute. I actually have this out. Look how many times it's tested on the 15-minute. If you actually go to the, let me see here, I think it was the 3-minute. Look at this. This is absolutely beautiful. This thing was literally bouncing around before I came on and started making this video. This thing was bouncing up and down like wild. It was going like this, okay? You can see this on a 3-minute chart. You can see just how much movement there was, okay? So much right here, okay? So you got to respect this line. If this continues to hold, and look, it comes back down right now, and look, bounced right back up. Caught that live in this video. It's just being pretty volatile right now. But it's testing this to try and confirm this. Keep in mind, we could get a little bit of a breakout and then continue and return to this, and that would still be valid. It'd have to happen pretty quick. I mean, you did see it here a little bit, where it kind of comes down and then goes back up. We see that with patterns, but yeah, keep that in mind. Basically, to sum this up, if this pattern ends up playing out, it's still really early to tell, but if it does, that is just more confirmation that we're going to get the bullish breakout that we've been waiting for. And guys, you know what that means. We'll have more detail about like how macro important that is in future videos, but we've already covered it before. But wow, let's see and wait how this small picture plays out. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.